Good morning. You're listening to AM 1080 KSEO Santa Cruz, AM 1340 KOMY La Selva, Beach FM 1041, 1079, and KSEO.com. It's 10:07, a beautiful Saturday morning, May 20th, 2017. Time for a quick weather and traffic report. Highway 1 looking good on the Central Coast right now between Santa Cruz and Carmel. Highway 17 and 101 also moving strong on the Central Coast. Looks like a little slow down there, 17 southbound toward the Summit, and also 101 southbound into Morgan Hill. Otherwise, roadways looking good. Your weather today, beautiful sunny skies, high near 80 degrees, cloudy overnight, low near 51. Tomorrow, sunny, the high near 75. Pick up your Tangy Tangerine, Healthy Start Pack, and Paul and Bruce here at the station, and much more, of course. 2300 Portola Drive, Dave in the Cave till 2 p.m., and I'll be here all weekend if you can't make it before then. It's 10:08, time now for a very special live presentation. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Up next, the Saturday Special with your host, Michael Zwerdling.
Zwerdling here. Zwerdling. Yes, I'm often confused with people who spell their name that way. We are not related to them, but we are related to everyone who spells the name Zwerdling without a D in the middle. How are you, Jason Struby? Be honest.
Fantastic. Couldn't be better. How are you?
Okay, yeah. Can you? And we're saying hello here. We're connected on one of the videos, and you're going to ping the other one so that we might be connected on. Hello, sir. How are you? Thank you. So, yeah, someone just walked by from the crew here at the, what is it, the 10th or 15th annual or something like that. Maker Faire.
I think it's the 12th one.
It's the 12th one?
12th, yeah.
Okay, and that voice you will all recognize as belonging to Dr. Future, the Dr. Future, also known as Al Lundell, and his lovely bride, Mrs. Future, is out looking for their niece to meet us here at the Makers Faire. If we don't go out and look for them, it's like the chances are 1 in 10 million that we'll hook up, right?
But Mrs. Future is dedicated. And our niece wanted to come an extra hour early just to see what it's like to be on the air. She's never played with radio before, just graduating from high school this June. So you'll hear a fresh voice in a few minutes.
Well, listen, Al, I'm amazed at how popular this event is. It's held at what they call the San Mateo Event Center, which used to be called the San Mateo County Fairgrounds. We've been up here many times before, for George Norrie functions and stuff like that, but I've never been to a Maker Faire. And a Maker Faire, I guess, would it be correct to say is just one giant, super, mega science fair?
Well, it's more of a do-it-yourself Disneyland. Disneyland. What I mean by that is that there's something for everybody here, and not just little boys making remote-controlled submarines or drones, but girls that are working with weaving and new techniques of creating clothes and imbuing light into clothing design, using 3D printers, things like that. So there's something for everybody at the Maker Faire. And that is what's kind of interesting, is that Maker, it includes everyone.
I've heard you on the Dr. Future show many times. It's one of your favorite subjects. Talk about the the printers, the
Yes, you'll see some of them here today. They're getting more sophisticated as time goes on.
But you were saying that they're gonna you can print an artificial leg, a prosthetic leg and stuff like that. I mean, I remember things like that.
I think it was on CBS News this morning. They were talking about printing artificial ovaries for women that lost the ability to childbear because of cancer, and then they can rebuild their ovaries using the printer technology for afterwards. So yeah, it's really proving to be very useful in the bio world as well as the tech world.
You just got here. I was here a little bit yesterday, but just sort of scoping things out a little bit, and I didn't even get anywhere near the printer technology part.
We're going to have some fun looking at that. That's going to be.
Can I give them my arm and say, here, duplicate it entirely, and then 15 minutes later come back and I have another arm in case I ever lose my arm?
That would be nice, MZ. Still a little.
I'm not planning it, but it would be nice to have a spare.
Dr. Future thinks that's a future thing. And we're definitely heading in that direction. What's present right now is a dinosaur, though. Check that out.
Now, we are broadcasting. We're streaming live on video. Where
Yes,
are we, Jason?
We are on YouTube. We're on YouTube at KSCO Global Channel. Check it out and please subscribe. You can check out the live feed that MZ is filming right now with the Futures.
Yeah. And,
Beautiful footage.
And we're sort of we grabbed this this table and chairs in the shade next to a plug-in to keep our batteries charged. Okay, and so
We got a nice vantage point. We get to watch people walk by us.
it's just wonderful, but we're not tethered. But it's so comfortable, and we're in the shade here on an otherwise very hot day. It's not so hot yet, but it will be this afternoon, don't you think?
I think it's going to be warm, really warm here. A real summer day for the valley.
So it's beautiful, and you know it's worth coming up here to check this out. And it's going on all day today until what, 5 o'clock? Until 6?
I think it's at least 6. Let me check the speaker here.
Check here.
Yeah, we have Adam Savage here this morning. He's the guy from the Discovery Channel, the Mythbusters. You ever seen those? The Mythbuster guys. Yeah, Adam Savage is a regular here. They have the life-size mousetrap. The life-size mousetrap. I saw the whole mousetrap game here once too. You know, remember the old mousetrap game as a kid? It was kind of a Rube Goldberg type game, where, it was a 3D structure that you had on top of the game board.
Hey,
Zoe is
Dr.
Here.
Future.
A world-class drone pilot is here with us.
Finally found
Holy
you guys.
Christmas. Hi, Zoe. Say hello.
Hey, everybody out there in Radioland. I'm Zoe FPV, a pilot here at Maker Faire and a good friend of Dr. Future. Here to bring you the news on everything
And a
drones.
future good friend of MZ. Okay?
So Zoe, what's happening here at the Monkey Fair for you? Yeah. Well,
Yeah, let me get over there.
it's a weird chair. We're gonna put junk in a wonky chair here. You have to say seat from over here.
Maybe what we should do, Jason, is open the program because we haven't done the good morning jingle
Let's
yet.
do
And then
it.
we could figure out how to get everybody situated so they don't fall backwards.
You want to give us
Right,
a countdown?
Very important thing.
Good
One.
morning, a brighter day is here. Good morning, may we bring you cheer.
We've got time, we've got tunes, we've got time, tunes, and temperature.
Get up and go, it's today you know on KSCO Radio.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to all of you. We are broadcasting live from San Mateo, California, site of the Makers Fair that's going on for people who like to do things themselves and not hire other people to do it. We're going to be here doing the program live with Dr. Future and quite a number of other guests. We have no idea who or how, but we're going to fill up the next 2 hours, so stay with us.
Good morning, now stay right here on KSCO Radio.
KSCO Global on YouTube has a video feed from us. We have 2 iPhones that we're using to secure the video feed. I'm talking into one of them. It's sort of a close-up, so I'm not sure you want to tune in to look at that right now. But when I turn the thing around, you'll see some more appetizing looking people than me. Jason, are we going to do are we going to ping that other iPhone so that we'll have 2 feeds from here? Or,
I would, but we're working on free software right now. The unpaid version won't allow us to connect to more than one cell at a time.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. So, but
We'll have
I
that
don't
in the
mind.
future.
How expensive can the multi-camera version be?
Probably $50.
So anyhow, this is cool. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Future and his good friend Zoe, who nobody knows more about drones and piloting drones than Zoe. Okay, and here comes Mrs. Future and Mrs. Future's niece. Okay, it's all yours, Al. Put on your
Okay.
headphones.
Get my headphone on here.
Yeah.
Okay, Al here. Dr. Future is back with with Zoe, who is from Santa Cruz. Zoe, and she's a world-class drone pilot here at the festival, and she's going to tell us about what's going on in the drone world. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Future. So I am Zoe. I'm actually part of the Aerial Sports League. We're hosting drone-related events here at the Maker Faire. One of them is freestyle, cage freestyle event, which is new for us at Maker Faire. And we have drone racing. So traditional drone racing, as you've probably seen on TV, with goggles and people flying through gates. It's really, really cool. If you haven't seen that, you've got to check it out. And we have drone combat, which is something a lot of people don't know about. We have like basically sumo wrestling in the air going against each other, people with like net launchers, different kinds of weapons to take down drones. And we have the micro races too. So we have like 4 total drone events here at Maker Faire. And
so what's the micro races? What's that all about?
So the micro races is more for like the newbies and stuff, people that are just getting into racing and don't have a full-size rig and maybe not in their pro class of racing yet.
So it's kind of more for beginners in that realm, kind of thing? Cool.
Mostly for beginners.
Now, what events are you participating in yourself?
Because I'm actually organizing this year, which is new for me, I am barred from winning any of the events.
Oh, no!
So I'll still be flying in freestyle because I love flying freestyle, and I actually did some racing practice yesterday and won 4 rounds in a row, so I can still race. I just, I just like, if it's funny, there hasn't been a lot of freestyle events lately, and in the drone community, a lot of people are focused on racing, and I've kind of stepped up to host freestyle events and kind of really promote.
Yeah, no, you've always done well with freestyle. Now, freestyle is more like, in the airplane world, it would be like acrobatics?
Yeah, it's all about acrobatics. It's basically like dancing in the air. I kind of feel like a ballerina twirling around and going through the course and stuff, and it's all about style, the tricks that you can do in the actual course.
Can you describe for the radio audience a nice ballet move or something that you enjoy?
So one of the traditional moves for freestyle is a power loop. It's basically where you do a continuous loop in a circle up and around. Another one is just a barrel roll. You'll do a simple roll, 180 degrees, and then you'll do another one actually I'm thinking of a split S. You do a 180 degree roll, and then you do like a curve out of it underneath. It's really hard to describe.
Yeah, well, do you have smoke streamers on them?
Next year.
Next year, okay.
Actually, we're working on smoke streamers for X-Class giant racing drones coming up because they're much more visible, and because we have the space on the giant racing drones, you can actually put streamers and smoke screens and stuff like that.
That's where it's going to get real pretty.
Oh, yeah. We haven't even talked about that. I've got to be on your show again to talk about all the giant drone racing stuff.
Oh, definitely. We'll do a regular Dr. Future on that. But at the fair here,
Don't you think there needs to be a regular drone show?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Zoe was just telling me about her new show.
Yeah, so I actually just started a new podcast and internet show, Dronalicious.show. It's every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. live on twitch.tv. And I've had really cool guests so far from the industry, some of the bigger names running events from IDRA, ASL. Like basically, if you want to know the nitty-gritty of the drone industry, my show is kind of where it's at. You know, I really try to get into I unveil what's going on behind the scenes. Like, I talk about stuff that other shows are afraid to talk about.
I mean, I've got a topic here for that because I've been meaning not to cast a negative pall on what is otherwise a very positive broadcast, but I can't help but think about the sinister or the potential sinister nature of a drone. If there was someone that you don't like that you could accidentally maim or kill, I mean, aren't things like that going to happen, or maybe have already, or?
So, like, as far as sinister stuff with the drone, right now the most sinister thing people can do is use it to try to spy on somebody. The issue with that is that as soon as you hear, as soon as a drone can physically see you and make sense of what they're looking at, you hear it. So as a spying tool, drone is not worth it. As far as to hurt somebody, it's a really horrible thing to even try to. I mean, to fly one of these things. I mean, people think about it. I mean, The really sad thing is the use of them by terrorists overseas. I mean, there's been some uses of them for scouting, and then just simply attaching, I hate to say, an IED to them. But you can do that with anything. I mean, it's really just a matter of that. I mean,
Wouldn't you say the bigger topic is the freedom of personal aviation?
Well, yeah, and it's the personal aviation, the freedom of it is amazing as a pilot. I mean, you get to be free, but beyond that, and the small minor issue of anyone can do bad with basically any technology is the good that can be done. I mean, I was talking about this the other day with some friends, the fact that you could have a swarm of drones out for disaster relief. So you'd have a swarm that goes up to provide a cell network for when the cell network goes down. So you could have a cell network access to people in a disaster situation within 10 minutes of the network going down. You could have a drone swarm go up and identify survivors and people in an environment completely automated within a swarm. So then search and rescue crews know exactly where people are and can get to them without having to find them first. On top of that, you can use drones to drop supplies onto people that need them in those situations. So if you really wanted to, if the money was there and people really wanted to invest in the technology, you could basically completely automate disaster recovery efforts and basically have the people focus on what needed most, and that's getting people in dire situations out of them versus just throwing manpower at the problem. So, using drones in that way, I think for me is something I'm most excited about, because these things can be used to save lots of lives. And
It's an ultra-fast delivery system, basically.
it's ultra fast, it's efficient, it goes where you really need it, and when
I was going to say, whatever happened to that news story about Amazon? You don't hear about that anymore. Did they?
No, they're still into it. What is the story about drones in commercial use in the U.S. right now?
So in the U.S. right now, drones are pretty much stifled by the FAA, which is really unfortunate because in some countries, the governments have really embraced drone usage in their governments.
Like which ones?
Sweden, for example, has remote parcel delivery via drone now. So for a lot of the residents that are, outside of the norm and able to get easy parcel access, they're able to send drones out to some of the more remote locations to deliver their mail. There's been a lot of use in third world countries for delivering supplies to people where you couldn't necessarily get them via truck.
Bridges blown out, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And in the U.S., it's mainly just government regulation that's holding back the use of drones, which is really unfortunate because right now the technology, I think, has almost been perfected as far as autopilot systems and sense and avoid systems. The latest DJI models that are coming out in the future will have 360 degrees of sensor avoidance, meaning that if you try flying it into anything, it should just stop itself before it'll hit anything. And then you pair that with GPS, and then you pair that with smart pathing, which is basically a path that already exists. You've already mapped it out, and all the drone is doing is updating that path and making sure nothing new is in its way. So there's a lot of things that can be done with today's technology that if the FAA allows us.
You were just a little hot there.
Oh, sorry. I got really aggressive with that one.
Yeah, I know. Well, you can see Zoe's really shows how drones are really just a new level of transportation and playing with personal aviation, having fun with it.
Yeah, and by the way, we haven't said that if anybody wants to call the program, you can. Now, I can't see who's waiting, so Jason will have to let me know. He'll have to break into the program.
We do have
if
a
anybody
perfect
has
timing.
Any questions for any of our interviewees, including Zoe here?
Yeah, let's bring on Mark. He does have a question about drones for Zoe.
Okay, Mark. It's Mark. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
How you doing, Michael? Hey,
Good.
so,
Now,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
Michael.
ahead. Go ahead. And now Zoe has the headphones and can hear you.
Okay, so I was wondering about reputable builders. I'm wanting to get a bunch of them built and for personal use. And I had a guy by the name of Steve build one for me, and he put a bunch of used stuff. I gave him all new parts, and he put all used, the flight control board. It has an uncontrollable drift, and it's just a mess. And so I'm kind of looking for somebody that really can, build them decently.
Yeah, so in the Bay Area, we have a few people that you can get a hold of. FPV headquarters is based out of, I believe, San Jose right now, and they have build services available to you. Multiroid Romania, also out of Sacramento, they will have build services available to you, and I really like those guys. They're really great at what they do, and they're professional shops, so they have workbenches there. They have techs there that do nothing but work on drones. So yeah, that's also a really reputable way to do it. If you want, there's also Rotor Riot sells the Butter Quad, which is $800. It's kind of steep, but that's kind of almost a gold standard for a lot of people getting into it, just because of its smooth flying ability and how well it flies. But as far as kits go, I think you can get one pre-built from MRM or FPV headquarters for under $400.
Luminaire?
I don't think they use Luminaire brand. The Luminaire brand is from Get FPV, and that's
Okay.
yeah. And a lot of the Luminaire brand is actually just rebranded Chinese equipment.
Oh.
It's not necessarily bad. It's just some of it. It's kind of hard to tell if it's original equipment manufacturer or
Right.
if it's what. So
Okay,
that's
All right.
yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. Bill.
Totally happy to help.
Anyhow, we're back. We're live from the event center at San Mateo, previously known as the San Mateo County Fairgrounds. MZ here on the Saturday special with guest host Dr. Future, and Mrs. Future is out with Mrs. Future's niece, scouring the system, scouring the whole the whole place. And there's hundreds of thousands of people who will be here later. Probably 100. Well, I'd say about between 100 and 200,000 people. They're saying. So we're just going to sort of play it by ear. We have a very, very comfortable location where we are seated now. Yeah. Oh, here's a question from Dr. Future for Zoe. And by the way, all this stuff about drones is fascinating to me, and it's fascinating to everybody. And I'll bet you're going to have one of the most popular podcasts on planet Earth.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Zoe. The track, I think, would be particularly interesting to our audience because it's very visual and very three-dimensional. So I remember last year it was in the dark and you had fluorescence and things, and you were. Yeah, tell us about it this year.
Yeah, so the track this year is completely lit, and one of Aerial Sports League's specialties is lit up tracks indoors, and that's kind of special to us because all of our tracks are custom designed in-house by Aerial Sports League, so we're using our own custom-built LED systems, and this year it's really special because we've added moving LED elements. So we have like a funeral forest that you have to fly through that has these really vivid LED rope lights going through them. Then you have the spiral gate that you have to fly through, which is really trippy because as you're flying through it, it's kind of like Rainbow Road and Mario Kart. And then the rest of it looks like Tron. Like, that's the easiest way to describe the ASL course. If you've seen the movie Tron and you've imagined getting on a light cycle and flying through it, that's pretty much what we're doing.
That sounds awesome. Really a lot of fun. And as a viewer, you get to see what the pilot is seeing on some big screens there. So it becomes a direct experience.
Yeah, so one of the cool things is that this year we have a clear view system set up for the audience, so we have a very clear picture of each pilot's feed available to people to watch. So not only do you have the experience of seeing the drones flying around the course with your own eyes, you get to see exactly what each pilot sees as they're flying around the course. So it really gives you a vivid experience of what it's like to fly. And on top of that, we have a goggle bar. So if you want to experience what it's like to fly with goggles on, you can come by and Fat Shark will give you a set of goggles to put on and basically get in the pilot seat and see and experience it as a pilot would.
That is profound. I mean, that is literally moving your mind over a distance. Literally, your eyes are tricked into thinking they're flying at that point. And when you're actually flying, you are flying, right? So it's a real thing. So talk about fake news. This is a real, because if you mess up, you crash really fast.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like it's A lot of people compare it to a video game because it's very gamified. You have a controller, you're using a screen to control the craft, but realistically, you crash, you're going to break stuff, and you have to fix it. And it's expensive. It's a very expensive hobby if you get into racing, because you're going to be constantly crashing and crashing. I mean, you can break $50, $100 of parts in a single crash.
Yeah, and at the same time, that's what it takes to evolve the sport.
So yeah, it's crashing is just kind of part of it. And when you get in as a newbie, don't be afraid to crash, and don't be afraid to learn how to solder. You know, you gotta have some basic like tech skills when you get into it. As like the previous caller was mentioning, buying a pre-built machine, that's great, but eventually you're gonna have a problem on that machine that's gonna create. Basically, you're gonna have to send it back to the shop, or you're going to have to learn how to fix it yourself. And if you're going to be doing this at any kind of real like regularity, you better become a techie if you're not already. Yeah, you kind of have to get with it, because it's kind of like a motorcycle hobby. You kind of hit a wall eventually with it. It goes in your garage and you never touch it again. So it's, if you learn how to build from the get-go, you kind of save yourself the hassle later on.
Indeed, yeah, I had to learn. I guess I did have to learn it. And if you're into this stuff, it's a good skill to have, because it's a down-to-earth part of technology to actually work with liquid metal like that. It's
We're sitting across from the Learn to Solder station, so it makes a lot of sense. People at Maker Faire are learning how to solder. It is a very important skill, and it's a lot easier than people think.
Yeah, the thing is, I have a lot of friends who, being near a Wi-Fi signal is sensitive, right? So soldering is a serious chemical experience as well. But hey,
don't breathe it.
Yeah, don't breathe it. Right? Learn to avoid the smoke. I think that. One other question: Swarm software. Anything in that department? Because that seems it would lend itself to a lot of interesting new possibilities.
Yeah, so Swarm software, I'm not really aware of anything in the open source community that's really doing much with that. As far as other projects, I know Intel has really developed their Swarm software quite effectively. If you've seen like the Super Bowl halftime show, or if you've been to Disney lately, they use Intel's technology to swarm drones around and make basically a visual display in the air. It's really, really cool tech, and it's kind of neat, and it's also kind of scary when you think about it, because you have a bunch of swarm drones that, you know, could do anything. But, you know, that's kind of the cool part too. They could do anything. They could be great. I mean, I think using them as a display, basically replacing fireworks, is going to become more commonplace going forward, just because of the amount of different displays you could do with drones versus fireworks. Not to mention it's reusable. You're not destroying thousands of dollars worth of fireworks every time you put on a display.
That's true. It's reusable, and you can do animation effects and all kinds of other stuff that you never dreamed of with pyrotechnics. Yeah, it's. And the other thing that I've heard of, probably the most outrageous, and I've got to ask you if this is possible. I've read one story where they say that if we had the will, we could have drones plant 1 billion trees a year. Drones planting trees. Yeah. Is that a real thing?
Yeah. I have the will. Let's do it.
Do you have any info on this? I do.
What do we? Yeah. What's your name, and then tell us the data.
Hey, my name is Trey Player, and I am the AirViews pilot manager. And so you were asking about, you know, the drones that are out there ready to plant trees. Well, I know that it's already there. What they've done is they've essentially built these drones with kind of like an airsoft cannon on there. And instead of shooting BBs, pellets, or airsoft pellets, they actually shoot seeds of trees down into the ground. And they can carry up to 1,000 seeds in each payload. Now, what we are limited by is drone flight time. The average drone, especially a camera drone, is going to average about 25 minutes. So you're still limited to the amount of flight time that we have, which will limit you to distribute the seeds properly. But at the same time, it only takes 1 or 2 minutes to come back and switch out the batteries and continue on with your mission. So yeah, the technology is absolutely there.
That does remind me of another piece I've read about a Dr. Mahler, who had created the Sky Car back in the 60s, 70s.
I love Moeller. So Moeller is one of my personal inspirations. His Sky Car I think was one of those things that came out way too early and was ahead of its time. The fact that he had redundancy in place on that system back before we had the onslaught of new quadcopter technology and flight controller tech. I mean, I can only imagine what he could do with just a small update to his software now that he has like access to what we currently do with our drones.
Would you like to hang out with him?
I would love to hang out with him.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
What?
He have a surprise for you.
Well, actually, I was an early investor in his company. It is one of my Dr. Futures investments, and that's one that still hasn't paid off yet.
I've heard that.
But we know that, like nuclear fusion, VTOL was just around the corner until the whole drone phenomenon. No, actually, it's happening, and so maybe Mahler's ideas could really take off.
Well, that's the thing is like Mueller, he had investment early on, and he had a lot of challenges and roadblocks that he had to get around, and he basically had to invent the wheel. Now that he's invented the wheel, everyone's kind of reinvented the wheel, and they're basically taking on a lot of the same. There's several companies I know of that are trying to do exactly what Mueller has already done.
He is now interested in the fuel issue, the length. As you were saying, one of the big problems with drones is the battery length. So he's someone who bought a engine factory, but not a normal engine. The Winkel design. It's a triadic system instead of, but it's still a fuel. It still uses fuel, but it could use any fuel. It could use alcohol. It could use gas. And he thinks some kind of hybridization of that with electric could be the system.
See, now, my thing is I think we need a hybrid turbine system. I've seen some turbines coming out of a Japanese company that fit in a suitcase that are capable of powering small UAVs for up to 24 plus hours based off of just how heavy it is and how little fuel they take. And turbine technology for power generation, miniaturizing that is kind of like a big deal. The fact that it's been miniaturized kind of opens the door up. And I know the military right now, all their large, wow, it's getting louder and louder here. All of the military UAVs use traditional turbines to power their electrical systems so they can stay up for multiple days at a time. The Global Hawk system, for example, will stay up for, I believe, 72 hours at a time now, and that's basically based off the turbine system it uses internally to power all of its electronics.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention that there's a parade going by, costumes, all kinds of clowns, and a traveling cupcake, a remote-controlled cupcake just went by us here. Yeah, that was a cupcake, yeah. With a human in it. Yeah, it's a cupcake with a cherry on top.
And a reminder, you folks can watch that at home on YouTube at the channel called KSCO Global Live.
What's actually going on over here. But I wanted to ask you, turbine engines then combined, so that's that's fuel combined with electric for creating like 24-hour range instead of 15-20 minute range, right? So this is huge. So still using gasoline is important, but much less quantities than we're using it now. But what about the hobbyist world that have played with gasoline and hobby aircraft for a while? Surely they've miniaturized turbines.
Yeah, so getting a miniaturized turbine, at least one that generates power, is still hard. So it's not something that's been really done in the hobby world. All that being said, I've seen hydrogen-based quadcopters done in the hobby world. I've seen fuel-based hybrid systems. I just don't know if I've actually seen a turbine system used in the hobby world.
I mean, given today's 3D printer technologies.
Very possible. I think now we have the tools to do it, especially with laser stinting printers and the fact that like we could all actually have metal parts printed out now. The ability to make a miniaturized turbine is easier than ever before. Wow, that is really loud.
Yes. Well, turbines are loud. That's the problem. Whenever I've seen a turbine, it's been screeching. So, but the issue is how do you get greater range with drones? And we know we get greater range with gasoline-powered machines, but we don't have that with batteries yet. The other approach is to increase battery length, and there hasn't been any really massive breakthrough there yet, has there? In terms of No?
No, the biggest breakthrough right now is still turbine hybrid systems. The Hummingbird V2 is a drone that's capable of hovering for over 24 hours by itself. And by hovering, I mean it just flies in one spot, which is completely different than a Global Hawk. And having a drone that's capable of just hovering in a single spot for multiple hours at a time is a huge deal. So going forward, the technology problem, I mean, unless we have a microfusion reactor for a drone, which, if Lockheed can get that out the door in the next 2 years, I think, but pending that, I don't see any new battery technology coming out that's going to change the game. I could see micro turbines though for at least the X-Class 1,000 millimeter drone racing that we're doing. I could see that becoming a thing.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Zoe, for the Zone Update. If somebody wants to find your website, where do they go? Or your show?
So if you want to hear me and more about drones, check out dronalicious.show. If you want to watch me fly, check out airviews.com/users/ZoeFPV. And if you want to just see everything about me and my story, check out ZoeFPV.com. But yeah, I'm everywhere on the internet. I'm easy to find.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm so glad we ran into you here.
Right
Thank
on.
you, Zoe. All right. And Sean?
Yeah, and aside from Zoe, you can also check out some other top pilots from all over the country at airviews.com. That's AIRVUZ.com.
Airviews.com. All right, good. Well, thank you guys.
Right on, yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Enjoy, everybody.
All right. There's more to hour number 1 of the KSCO Saturday Special. MZ and Dr. Future here at the San Mateo Event Center, site of the Makers Fair, which is a giant do-it-yourselfers/science fair thing. Definitely worth coming to. It's going to be going on all day today and all day tomorrow. And so definitely worth it. Lots of food. I think second hour, I think we're going to untether ourselves here and go into my favorite, the food place where they have interesting foods being grown or made or sampled or some forth.
Good.
Yeah.
We should get a little hungry first, though, don't you think, Michael?
I'm getting hungry.
Mrs. Future disappeared with my niece somewhere. We're hoping they'll show up before much longer.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to get distracted here.
Yeah, here. How
Want me
do
to hold
I?
them?
Yeah, that'll be good. So now we can see you,
Okay, good.
Dr. Future. Okay, let's talk about something really, really positive. Now, in reading a description, they talked about the future. Because this is a future sort of place, obviously.
A do-it-yourself future.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
do-it-yourself future.
the people create the future. This is what it looks like, or what kind of things we're interested in.
And one of the most amazing things that I've always thought about, for as long as I've known, that when people get spinal cord injuries, break their back or break their neck, they become paraplegics or quadriplegics. They're confined to wheelchairs. They say that's you're not. That's a politically incorrect phrase, confined to a wheelchair, but that's what people are. And the thought of future technology, which is at hand. It's right here. It isn't even in the future probably so much right now. Can make it possible for quadriplegics and paraplegics to walk again.
I think it could be enabling technology, where it's more than normal. Like, haven't you wondered, like, for example, those blades that the runners, that the leg, those
Yeah, the blade legs.
blade legs, they could be made so that they go faster than normal runner. They could hop. They could have other kinds.
Like the Bionic Man, we have the technology, only we really do.
We do. That's true. So what do we do? I would say, I'd give those that have lost a limb more than they had before. At least, if you have to lose a limb, at least get some better technology out of it. Or more capability.
Yeah.
Built-in screwdriver or something, at least.
Make it better.
Yeah. Why not? It's just a matter of attitude. And what I find here at the Maker Faire is that attitude can be expressed as an individual. You don't need to be a big company or have a lot of money to do it. You can just go down to the tech shop and do it here. So now here's somebody who wanted something out of Alice in Wonderland type of conveyance.
Yeah, and we can switch the video around.
Yes, right. To get that.
So that, and there's a lot of bubbles flying through the air here too.
The rabbit carriage.
Yeah.
With bubbles coming from it as exhaust. Bubbles as exhaust.
If you want to join, there goes that automated motorized cupcake right in front of us. That's one of the funniest things. It just tickles me to see it. So anyhow, just a reminder, if you want to call 479-1080 and be part of the program with us, wherever you are, you can do so. You don't have to physically be here at the San Mateo Event Center. The fact that you're listening on your favorite radio station is enough for you to participate. Again, 479-1080, or you can email mz@ksco.com. Let's see. If you hold that video, Al, I'll be able to look at my iPhone. And I'm actually monitoring YouTube Live, YouTube under KSCO Global on the live broadcast right now. 18 watching now. Well, it's better than 17 watching now, right? And better than none watching now.
Well,
and we
wait until we get mobile shots, because we actually show the real stuff here.
Yeah.
I think the audience will go up.
Yeah,
Well, right now
I think so.
We're sitting on the side of a building here. It's a nice scene, but when we're wandering around, you'll get the sights and sounds firsthand. It'll be.
And we're definitely going to do that next hour. It may be a disaster.
Hey, there's Mrs. Future with our niece. Hey. What you got?
Here's Claire.
Claire.
We have a laser-etched unicorn. We have a laser-etched unicorn that we got over in the maker spaces, where they have all kinds of machines that are making all kinds of cool things. And have a seat, Claire.
Don't fall back on that weird chair. Don't fall back on the weird chair. Okay, Claire, you have the distinction of being related to Dr. and Mrs. Future. Now, I know everybody wishes they could be in your shoes, but they can't, unfortunately. How does it feel to be related to Dr. and Mrs. Future? Be honest.
It's cool. They have all the cool gadgets that he brings every time they visit.
Yeah.
I think I saw you wearing an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
At one point. Yeah. Tell us about it.
I forgot to charge it, so I couldn't wear it today.
What's your favorite thing about it? What you use it as a calendar or texting? Or?
I like seeing how much I walk.
Oh, yeah, the pedometer.
Yeah, it's a pedometer, right? How much do you walk?
Not that much. Usually like 7,000 a day. And I think you're supposed to walk, like for Fitbits, you're supposed to walk like 10,000.
Yeah, that's what my goal is.
Yeah.
Fitbit 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, gee, I there's a reason for me to do that. You don't need to get an Apple. I used to like to wear watches, but something happened about 15 or 20 years ago, and I decided I didn't like to wear watches. Not caring to wear watches, but not minding if I have a smartphone in my shirt pocket. Can I monitor my? Yeah, I don't need both. I mean, do I need both? Or
The Apple Watch is the beginning. I think it's worth it with the Apple Watch because it's not just a watch anymore. It's a full-blown supercomputer. Oh, right?
I don't like looking at my phone all the time. So I like to watch because then if someone texts me during class, I can text them back without getting in trouble.
That's right. You don't want to get caught texting in class, right? I mean, at least in high school. I don't know about college, but yeah.
Well, in your poking around the fair in the last half hour or so, have you seen anybody that just sort of jumps out at you as someone that we should feature in an interview here on the Saturday special?
No.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's because you didn't know us.
At the maker spaces, so we weren't really talking to people as much as we were seeing just amazing, cool things that people are doing. So I brought a bunch of pictures of things to remind me what we saw. I mean, we saw a wool dinosaur. I know, I want to build up to it. Let's start at the beginning, okay? So, of course, when you come to the Maker Faire, there's more there's more mobile cupcakes than ever. There's all kinds of people running around. There are more cupcakes that are little art cars. So there's people running around and they have frosting hats on and little birthday candle hats on, but they're driving single-person cupcakes that are they're kind of like bicycles, except that they're cupcakes. So. Well, I suppose you'd have to ask one of the makers here. Yeah, it seemed like they had brought a bunch of extras so you could sign up for a ride. Yeah, I think so. I think you can do that. And hi, Zoe. We have Zoe back.
Yeah, I brought my friend.
Okay, so we'll tell you some more about our little adventure at the Maker Faire. I know that we just have about 5 minutes till the end of the show, so why don't we let you guys... The end of the hour, yeah, never mind. And that'll give me time to get my pictures up, and then I can get a little reminder tour.
Future Claire, yeah, we'll see you in 5 minutes or so then. All right.
How you doing,
Yeah,
Dr.
good.
I'm Noah Furman. Nice to meet you.
Okay, now just
some new humans.
Okay, now we are since we ran into Zoe, we're getting deep into the drone world, right? And Zoe, I asked her before she left to bring some people over who she think our audience should meet, or I should meet, a combination thereof.
Uh-huh.
So Noah, welcome to KSCO. This is actually the Saturday morning special.
Oh, excellent.
And we're pretty free form this day. We take call-ins and
Let me
we're
take off my
educating.
sunglasses so I can see you.
All right, good. And we're educating the public about drones as
Fantastic.
a topic and how things are evolving. So Zoe brought us over to you. What's your role in this whole?
So I've been an avid member of the drone sports community since it started in around 2014. I helped to put together some of the early races, figured out how to do things, and drone racing is fantastic. What's really exciting about it is it's all done from the first-person view. So you've got a camera in the front of your drone. You got a
So you're
So it's as if you're in the cockpit.
It's like you're tricking your brain into
like
believing you're on.
RC, traditional RC, you're looking up at a bird and you're controlling it.
Yeah.
But with FPV or
Third
first
person view, yeah.
you're actually in the bird. You're seeing what happens.
It's kind of like driving our cars, right? We're in the driver's seat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it really makes you feel like you're flying. And as a hobby, there's no question that it's incredibly compelling. People try it, they go head over heels into it, they get super excited, they make it their lifestyle. However, one of the issues is, in trying to make it a sport, because everybody thinks it should be a sport that there will be spectators for, is that they're a little bit small and hard to see. And so they're ripping around and you see some LEDs, but you can't really track what's going on. And in fact, the commentators need to watch the live video feed in order to be able to commentate.
Because things happen so fast.
And they can't really tell what's going on just through the visually. And that's where X-Class comes in. So Zoe, myself, a guy named Reiner, a bunch of other people have come together and formed a group for the purpose of fostering larger drones for racing. So it's the same type of thing, first person on a really tight course, very aggressive aerobatic courses, but larger. So the ones we're flying right now are maybe this big, 250 millimeters. The ones we're going to are 1,000 millimeters, so about that big. And when you
Several
see
feet
those,
across,
when you
right?
see those running on a course, they really make an impression.
You can put smoke streamers on those,
You
right?
can do. Well, in fact, we had an exhibition race the other week, and one of the pilots hung a whole banner flag, like those metal pole flags you put in the ground. He hung a whole one and flew a whole race with this big banner hanging. So that's a really good point. Is there is if
or strips of LEDs that could do a distinctive pattern for that.
Absolutely. You can have different patterns. You can put advertising, you can put branding, and more importantly, you can see them. You can see them racing around the course. You can tell when two people are neck and neck and jockeying for position, and it's really exciting. And there's no question in my mind that it's only a matter of time until large-scale drone racing is a wildly popular sport.
Is that where you start getting into the hybrid engines that we were talking about, the turbine?
Yeah. Once you start getting big enough and to get enough power,
Increasing the range to
they're going to need to
24
go to
hours.
either fuel, jet fuel or fuel cells, or electric's not going to cut it as we get up. However, for this next stage in our evolution larger, this 1,000 class, electric is good enough. And in fact, we're getting a lot of buy-in from the vendors who make and sell stuff for the little quads. They're all now starting to come out with equipment specifically made for our big racing quads, for the big X-Class ones, because they see it too. They know that this has got a lot of potential. So we're excited.
So this affects everything, like delivery, long range makes it possible to deliver all kinds of stuff. At that point, it could be a whole other. That means we need a whole other flight control system for vehicles on the planet, to handle this kind of thing.
Well,
maybe an autonomous one.
That's something to think about. As we get more and more in the air, they're going to need to coordinate with each other and not crash into each other.
Right. So it speaks for some kind of three-dimensional freeway system.
This is kind of the other thing is, like in traditional automotive racing, you have technologies that are created for those automotive races, and it ends up trickling down back into everyday automotive vehicles. And so with these giant drones, a lot of the technologies that we're developing for them now are going to trickle back into the commercial sector, the loading and carrying objects with drones. Like, it's just, there's a lot of things that will come back to the commercial industry from doing giant drone racing.
Like, what about carrying people? I mean, where does it...
So after I realized one of my future rigs is going to have over 40 pounds of thrust, I realized I'm not too far away from upscaling that to carry a person. And eventually we're going to get to the point where these large-scale racing drones, I know in chat there's one person that's working on something that has several hundred pounds worth of lift. And very quickly I can see these drones becoming powerful enough to carry somebody, although terrifying enough to not want to ride it.
I see. Well, and on that same point, people talk about, the drones are going to get big. You're going to start putting people in them, right? No, that misses the point.
Cargo?
For racing, for sports.
Just for racing.
When you have a person in it, you can't pull the same type of maneuvers. You can't pull the same Gs unless you want person putting. And additionally, you can't take the type of risk consistently that you can.
No, it's a whole different way of playing with it.
You can take a high level of risk over and over and over again for practice, you can get really good. And you can't learn to do the types of maneuvers you can do with unmanned with manned, because it's too dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so if someone wants to know more about your focus on this,
go to xclass.racing. That's xclass.racing. We've got a website. We've got a race coming up on May 27th in Fremont. And
good.
And great.
Okay. Thanks, Zoe.
Thank you very much. Great to meet you.
Okay, we're going to wrap up hour number 1 of the Saturday special here on your favorite radio station, live from the event center at San Mateo. And we got another hour ahead of us. We're going to untether ourselves and go out and about. KSCO Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey, San Jose. It's 11 a.m. Here's CBS News.
CBS News, I'm Bill Rakoff. Day 1 of President Trump's first foreign trip is coming to a close with a royal banquet with Saudi King Salman. CBS White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy is traveling with the president.
It was a day of pageantry and opulence as the Saudi king rolled out several red carpets in Riyadh for President and Mrs. Trump.
That was a tremendous day.
The president signed off on a $110 billion arms deal with the Saudis, an agreement the Obama administration stalled, believing the Saudis slaughtered civilians in Yemen. The news from home has followed the president here. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson was asked if he knew which senior White House official is a person of interest in the Russia probe. He said he had no information on that. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, with the president in Riyadh.
Former FBI Director James Comey will go before the Senate Intelligence Committee in open session to testify about the investigation into alleged Russian connections to the 2016 presidential campaign. The latest bad news to swirl around the White House this week, but political analyst Stuart Rothenberg says the president hasn't lost the support of Republicans yet.
We don't know how this is going to turn out. We don't see huge defections yet at the grassroots on the Republican side. We don't even see huge defections in terms of Republicans, members of Congress who are critical of the president. But, there's more and more smoke, and we'll see if there's fire.
Comey was fired by the president after reports said he asked for more resources for the FBI investigation. It's a claim denied by DOJ officials. Meanwhile, in Iran, President Hassan Rouhani winning re-election by a wide margin, giving the moderate cleric a second 4-year term to seek out his agenda, pushing for greater freedoms and outreach to the world. The 68-year-old incumbent picked up 60% of the vote. It's a race that drew more than 7 out of every 10 voters to the polls. Meanwhile, Wedding bells in the UK today. They're celebrating Pippa Middleton's wedding. The 33-year-old bride, the sister of the Duchess of Cambridge, had 2 possible future kings in attendance, along with other members of the royal family. She married hedge fund manager James Matthews. He's 41. It happened at a rural English church. And an American tradition coming to an end this weekend. The Ringling Brothers Circus is giving its final performances. We get more from WCBS reporter Sophia Hall.
After 146 years, the show will be no more. It will be here on Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum, where the final 3 shows will be held. What happened?
All right. So,
You're live.
So, yeah, we're live now. So, Jason thinks that people, I'm putting words in your mouth, Jason. Jason says that people would rather listen to us than hear CBS News right now.
Really?
Right.
At least 18 of them. At least 18 of them.
I want to blame Jason. Right?
That's what I'm here for.
But I think you're right. But that's what I love about Jason, because he doesn't mind being blamed. Or do you?
No, it's fine.
No more than necessary.
All right. So he says that we have more live viewers than he's ever noticed?
Almost. Second most ever.
Second most. Okay, about 25. Is that still?
Yep, 25 strong viewers.
Now, if each one of you 25 humans watching our program now would call one friend, then we would have 50. But if you would call 100 friends, then we would have 2,500. See? And if each one of those would call even one friend, then we'd have 5,000. And then it's just like, would you rather, Dr. Future, would you rather I give you $1,000 now, or the product of a penny doubled every day for 30 straight days?
B. I would choose B. But I understand that.
Why?
Because it doubles, right? And it keeps doubling.
So what do you think it would be at the end of 30 days?
Mrs. Future guesses 32,000.
No, not 32,000 pennies, Dr. Future. It would be $10,700,000 and something at the end of 30 days. A penny double. Do it. Don't take my word for it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You say, and you've seen this done.
I did it myself. I was imagining that I was the guy who was going to get the product of 30 pennies on the doubled every day. No, 1 penny doubled every day for 30 days. I was just pretending. But I did it several times, and the number always came out the same.
Universal principle. I mean, can I apply this to like Bitcoin, or
you apply it to longevity and multi-level marketing and everything.
Anything like that, right?
That's why we are able to do what no other local radio station is able to do, and we like to put the word out. If people want to take care of themselves and be healthier and support their favorite radio station at the same time, it's so easy. Just take longevity products. Just buy them. Anyhow, you can do that with the Dave Cave today. He's going to be there until 2 o'clock, I think, right, Jason? And so,
yes.
And we are. I have to spend more time in KSCO land, coverage area, for us to finish these 10 local places, because we do have quite a lot of interest on the part of the right kind of local outlets to replace our Dave Cave. We're in the broadcasting business. We want to support people's health, and we want people living longer, as long as possible, particularly if they're KSCO listeners. If you're not a KSCO listener, we don't care. That's not a nice thing to say. We care we care about everybody living the longest, but particularly if you're a KSCO listener, right? We want you to live longer and be healthy. So if you use the products and it becomes part of your life, you will, in my humble opinion, live longer and be healthier. Now, if you're unlucky and get hit by a train or something, or a truck, even our wonderful supplements aren't going to be enough. Then you're going to need a surgeon, and you're probably going to need some antibiotics to prevent infection and stuff like that. But short of that, if you make the Healthy Start Pack, the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack, the Healthy Digestion Pack, the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the Healthy Weight Loss Pack, part of your life, you're going to be a lot happier than you've been. Unless you've already been doing it. Anyhow, so
we got some new information for you, MZ.
What is it?
Mrs. Future has been studying the grounds, and she's got some suggestions here for us to take our audience on a little trip.
Over here?
Yeah. So where do you suggest we go here?
Okay.
We got Claire, and we got Mrs. Future.
We started our day in the makerspaces, and in the makerspaces you have all kinds of booths that are dedicated to making things that move, things that are electrical, things that you can do with printer bots or with 3D printer or laser etching. And we're going to tell you about some of the stuff that we saw, because I took pictures of some of my favorites, so I'll show them to you. And Claire, why don't you just chat while I get my pictures up? What did you like? What were your favorite things so far? Yeah, talk close to the mic. Scoot all the way forward. There we go.
We saw a booth that you could extract DNA from a strawberry, and you squish it, and then they give you stuff, and then you can take out the DNA. I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Really? So you can play with the DNA of strawberries?
Yeah, I did that in seventh grade once. It was really fun. Yeah, because I also take a class this year, and we get to extract our DNA from
your own DNA.
Yeah.
Are you gonna squeeze it out?
No.
How do you extract your own DNA?
Oh, you are our DNA? Well, suppose I want to keep it all. Suppose I don't want to squeeze any out.
Michael,
He's got plenty of it. Plenty of it.
Squeeze it out. You put salt water in your mouth, and then you do mouthwash, and then you spit it out, and then you use that, and you can get your DNA from that.
Oh.
Because it takes it from your cheeks.
You smear it on a glass plate and look at it?
No.
What do you do with it?
You filter it out, and then you put it in a machine, and it makes more DNA, and then you send that DNA to a company, and they sequence it, and then you can see what your sequence is, and you can see what your genes are. So we did the lactose intolerant test, and it can tell you if you're lactose intolerant, or if you're not lactose intolerant, or if you have one of each gene.
Oh, wow. All right.
And we learned that if you have the lactose intolerant gene, but you can drink milk, it'll eventually turn off, and you'll stop being able to drink milk, because everyone's supposed to be lactose intolerant, but not everyone actually is.
Oh, I see. You have to learn.
They're supposed to be?
Yeah, because you're only supposed to drink milk from your mom, and then it's supposed to stop, because you can eat other things. But people who used to migrate a lot, Native Americans, they only could drink milk because that was the only food source they had, because they had cows or whatever with them. So then they mutated, and then that stays with your genes. And then other places they didn't need that, so then it turns off.
Hey, that means genes are smart. Yeah. Epigenetics, genes can learn. You're not just stuck with what your genes know.
Genetics, epigene.
Right. So the first thing we saw in the makerspace was the DNA extraction booth, where you could fold some DNA, or you could do a spell start and stop in DNA. So you could play a little spelling game with your DNA code.
Yeah, can you clone yourself or anything like that?
I didn't see any clone booths, but we haven't been everywhere yet. Okay, so let's see what else we saw. There's the Center for Cellular Construction. So there's a lot of people that are studying the cell. We saw some people that were making cells with clay, just so that people would be very familiar with what cells look like and what they do.
You mean make a large version of a cell out of clay? I mean, it's sort of
That's right.
Tactile?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about a maker fair. You have everything from toys that teach so that you know exactly what a cell looks like and you can make it out of clay, everything from that to like a Center for Cellular Construction that's funded by Berkeley, Stanford, and IBM and the NSF and the Exploratorium, where they're actually doing cellular construction using different kinds of chemical toolkits. So let's see what else did we see out there. There was the Citizens for Science and the Science for Citizens, and that was a group that was sponsoring BioCurious to be here. So you remember BioCurious?
Yeah, that's like a group, sort of a club, the biotech club in the Valley.
Yeah, it's a hackerspace for biotech, where you can experiment with your friends.
10 ways to hack your houseplants, or what? Yeah.
Your friends can hack you and your friends, or your houseplants, or whatever you want. Okay, let's see. More in the makerspaces. The Foothill College apparently is putting out the physics show. And the physics show is something that you can watch on their physics show, thephysicshow.com. And I guess that they air it in September and February, right? So we like that. And what else did we see? Oh, I was very fond of the dance robots. There were some
dancing robots.
Yeah, these robots were flapping their arms and wiggling their butts.
To music, I mean, was it convincing? No, not.
They're just dolls that dance, but now
it's in the right direction. Yeah. It's in the right direction.
And some of the dolls that danced had partners that were dancing in VR spaces. So you were dancing. Dolls were dancing in the real world, and they had avatars in the VR world, and they were all dancing together.
It was Just Dance, the video game Just Dance.
Just Dance video game, right? Exactly.
Anything like a motion capture suit where your motions get the android or the robot does your motions?
Didn't see that.
You didn't see anything like that? Okay. That seems to be like the natural next direction, where you move and the robot does it even better.
There's one in that building.
Well,
That building, remember, it has all the cool electronic ones? I think there's one in that building.
Okay.
That's right. There's one room that's really dark here too. It looks interesting.
I just went to the bathroom and I saw that. That was it.
And that's where they have all the light things. People playing with light.
Really cool stuff in that room. There's a geodesic dome that has a light show going on. And what else is in there? Of course, the bike wheel lights that you put on your bikes, and then it does cool animations as you drive. But let's see. Another thing that we passed was the world record paper airplane guy. Guy who designs paper airplanes that can go further than any other paper airplane. So he's there. He's got a whole section teaching people to make award-winning paper airplanes. So we just raced by that one.
Yeah, no, I haven't played with paper airplane for years. I'd like to see what other new innovative paper airplane designs have come up since I was a kid.
A fierce competition.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, really. Okay, so what else?
We don't even use paper anymore in classrooms, so I don't know.
It's not just tech, because there's also arts and crafts here. One of the things we passed was called Wool Buddy, and there is a giant wool dinosaur, like totally handmade with wool. So you can do all kinds of stuff with wool.
Yeah. So so we were looking at what kind of things would attract women here, as well as the.
Well, I was going to just tell you things that are completely mysterious, like IBM.
Mysterious is good too.
Quantum computer booth.
Wait a minute, they have a quantum computer here?
They have a quantum computer
No.
booth, and we were rushing by, so we didn't have time to stop and ask what was going on. So we're still uncertain about what quantum computing does. But
maybe that was the field it was generating as you walked by. Made you uncertain about things.
I think so. Yeah, we were pretty uncertain about that for sure. Oh, but right across from the quantum, okay, so maybe the quantum computing booth was generating some uncertainty, because right across was an AI that was taking pictures of everybody that walked by, and it took a picture of us and guessed our age. And if you can see, here's the picture that it took, right?
Whoa.
And so it guessed that, I think this is a friendly computer, because this is a computer that guesses your age, but it's very complimentary, and it lies about your age. And if you're younger, it makes you older, and if you're older, it makes you younger.
So it equalizes everything, huh?
So you can feel good about about it.
I want to go there. I think I might want to go there better than I want to go to the eating building.
Something stronger than eating here. That's a
Yeah.
good sign. That's pretty primal.
Let's see what else.
Hey, you know what I just realized, Jason? No, we're not over. No, we're just beginning. This is great stuff, son. It's wonderful. So, but it'll be even better if we do the hour two jingle.
Can we get a
haven't
countdown?
done that yet.
And we should wander around a little bit.
And we should wander around too. While you're doing the jingle, we'll figure out how to untether ourselves.
3, 2.
Oh, hello, darling. I hate to hang up on you, but I'm sorry, baby, but I have to go. It's time for that wonderful record show. I'd love to visit, but you'll have to call back. KSCO has the inside track.
Well, there's still time. There's still time if you want to make it up here to the San Mateo Event Center.
Yeah, all day tomorrow too. Beautiful weather here. It's the best I've seen in the valley.
To the Makers Fair, a giant science fair.
KSCO Radio. Bye.
You know, Jason, I feel so terrible that I talked over the sexy ladies singing. Maybe we should do it again, and I'll try to do it right this time. What do you think? Or should we not? Yeah, good. Yeah, let's do it again.
Oh, hello, darling. I hate to hang up on you, but I'm sorry, baby, but I have to go. It's time for that wonderful record show. I'd love to visit, but you'll have to call back. KSCO has the inside track.
Well, we've been having a lot of interesting people and topics and so forth. We're going to have some more this hour, so stay with us, okay? Do so.
I'm sorry, baby, but I really gotta go to KSCO Radio. Bye.
All right, this is a good time for people to call 479-1080. That's in area 831. And I don't know if anybody's been emailing mz@ksco.com. There's so much congestion here on the bandwidth that it keeps saying updated just now, and the last email I got was at 10:03 a.m. So I don't know if anybody is I'm going to keep trying to refresh it, but there's nothing that's stopping people from calling 479-1080. That's area 831. And being part of the show with us, asking some questions about what you'd like to, what's at the show and what you'd like us to cover. I mean, literally, I mean, if we couldn't cover all of what's at this show if this show was 24/7 for a week or two. It wouldn't even begin to cover what's up here. So what is it that you would like us to cover in here? And I'll put this back to Sun, to Mrs. Future. Okay, good. And then yeah, good. So then we'll do what she says. But you call 479-1080, and Jason, be sure to break in if you get a call that wants to come on, okay?
10-4.
Are we back? Yeah, we're back. Okay, well, let's see. I was just about to show you how if you go to the Makers Generation R&D department, where they do prototyping, electronics, robotics, and 3D printing, you can get a free 3D scan of yourself. So how's that for a photo booth, right?
I'll bet there's a huge line.
No, not yet, actually. It's still early.
Because we're media, can we crowd in?
Yeah?
Be privileged characters?
You know, doing 3D scans of radio personalities might not be allowed. You probably have to bring your whole 3D body to get a 3D scan. You can't just bring your voice.
I'll do that. I'll bring my whole person. I don't even know how to leave the voice behind.
All right, so let's see what else we got here that was exciting. Oh, here's a picture. See, the thing, Michael, if you do go and get a 3D scan of yourself, is they're going to turn you into a little green man, just like that. So there's a catch.
It's okay. It'd be an improvement, definitely.
The little green man. That's what they'll give you for free. See, what do you want for free? They'll give you a 3D green man.
For free, you'll get an ugly alien. Okay, well, that's a great start. What are the options if I pay?
I don't know, but right next door is, see, now that, of course, was a guy's booth, but right next door is Bitsy Bots. Bitsy Bots is the girls' robot booth, where you can get girls' robots. Yes. Do you know anything about Bitsy Bots? No, it's just a toy, but there is, the sign is pink, and there's a sweet girl there, and we were going too fast to stop. Okay. Oh, here, right next to Bitsy Bots, is a laser etching machine, and this laser etching machine is where Claire got her. It's where you got your unicorn. She got a laser etched unicorn, and they also had this amazing stenciled rolling pin. So if you wanted to roll pastry, yeah, that's the unicorn. And I should really turn my brightness up, and you can see. Let's see. I'll turn my brightness up so you can see how cool this etched rolling pin is. So you can roll pastries with amazing laser printed patterns on them from your laser printed rolling pin. It's really beautiful.
Let's do that too.
Okay.
And we actually have a caller.
Okay.
We have a
caller. We have a caller.
We do. Colonel Terry, you're on the air with Dr. and Mrs. Future and MZ.
What do you want me to hold? Okay, I'm holding the mic.
Lady and gentlemen.
Oh, really? He wants to talk to me.
He always wants to talk to Mrs. Future.
Well, first of all, I heard the voice of the uniquely beautiful and highly intelligent Mrs. Future, and I had to call in.
Aw, you're such a charmer.
Well, and I'm envious. You guys are having such fun up there.
Yeah, we are.
Well, no one's preventing him from coming.
Yeah, did you hear that?
You have to drive
No one's
all the way to
preventing you
San
from coming,
Mateo.
Colonel Terry.
All the way to San Mateo. A skip and a jump.
All right,
If you
how
had
long
your
will it go on
your
today?
Sky Car, you'd be here by now.
That's true. Well, I've got it out of order, and you're the first person I want to take for a ride.
Awesome. Well, I was just getting to the end of our tour that I took with my niece Claire. We ended up at one of my favorite booths so far, and it was a 3D printing booth. Claire, do you want to tell us a little about it? Because you're the one who really noticed it first.
How old is Claire?
Okay, here, Claire. I'm going to put the headphones on Claire, and you and Claire can talk.
Wonderful.
So this is a caller named Terry.
Hello.
How are you? How old are you, Claire?
18.
Did the computer calculate your age correctly?
No.
Oh, what did it say you were?
20.
What did it say?
20.
Oh, all right. Now, what is it that the molding machine does, or the plastic designed by the computer? What is happening?
It made shoes. So it's a company, and then they made shoes. So we tried some on, and they were really comfy.
What color
Really
were
cool, really comfortable 3D printed shoes. I've never seen 3D printed shoes before. That's what this is. This was entirely made on a 3D printer. And this booth is called Feetz, F-E-E-T-Z. And Feetz happens to be the world record holder for having made the largest 3D printed shoes ever to be worn. And they made a size 28 shoe for the world's tallest man, who's 7 feet tall. 7 feet plus tall. And so they have a picture. They actually have at their booth a size 28 shoe, and they have a contest for people to guess how much that shoe weighs. And if you can guess how much that shoe weighs, you can win a pair of 3D printed shoes.
All right,
from
now
Feet.
where is it, and how late will it be
Yeah,
open?
they're having a show special, so we got a highly discounted 3D printed shoe. We got two, actually.
Wonderful.
I happened to luck out, and my foot was the perfect size for one of the last 4 3D printed shoes that they had.
They can make them custom, though.
Okay, well,
They'll
of
take
course,
orders for
Mrs.
you.
Future's foot was perfect, like Cinderella's.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sue, how long will it be there, son, today?
How long? The Maker Faire is here. It started yesterday, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have all the way from 10 until 5 tomorrow. 10 until 5 today, 10 until 5 tomorrow.
And the location?
The location is the San Mateo County Fairgrounds.
Okay. All right, and how long will you guys be there today?
We're going to be here probably till the sun sets. We're going to be here running around all day after the show and basically until we wear ourselves out, as usual. That's what we do every year.
Now, could Uncle Terry treat your niece to a pair of Cinderella shoes at the machine?
What's that? Colonel Terry
Could
wants
Uncle
to buy
Terry
everybody
treat
wants
you
to buy you
nieces?
some shoes.
My birthday was last week.
That's
so.
right. You're just a week after her birthday. I was threatening to buy her some shoes too, but you know, she wants to see everything first before she
I have
decides.
like 35 pairs of shoes, so I don't really think I need any more.
Don't you need a plastic pair?
I don't think I actually have that many. I think I have probably like 25, but I have a lot of shoes. But
Well,
I
if
wear
you-
them all the
if you
time.
want- if you
but since
decide
I have
you
so
want a
many
pair,
shoes, they
Mrs.
don't wear out
Future and
so
Uncle
fast,
Terry-
and then I like buying new ones. So then
Yeah,
I
well,
keep
Uncle
getting
Terry and
more.
Mrs. Future will split the cost for you. How's that?
Let her know, Terry. We're passing the headphones around, so I will translate for you right now. Colonel Terry would love to get you a pair of 3D printed shoes or anything.
Thank you.
Sure.
You're great. All right.
Yes.
We're gonna hit the road, Terry. I'm passing the mic back.
Okay, well, I'll plan to visit the fair. Okay, happy
you
birthday.
or son can hold the headphone, and whoever doesn't hold the headphone should hold the iPhone for the video. Okay, and how many people do we have watching now, Jason?
Still above 20.
Oh. Well, obviously people didn't get on the phone and call some people to let us know. Yeah. Al should go on Facebook Live. Okay, good. Now, Jason, can we go on Facebook Live also, as well as KSCO Global on YouTube?
I mean, aside from it might be a little redundant, we actually are not capable of streaming to both simultaneously. However, you could paste the link onto any Facebook page, and they could, easily
Al's
get there.
Al's going to do a link here on his Facebook.
There you go.
And that's going to be the link to youtube.com/KSCO Global.
I believe so.
Is that right?
I think that'll take you right there.
And Son can do the same thing. And we're going to, of everything you said, besides, I mean, you didn't talk about the eating. The eating building is pretty close. We could go over there now, or should we go over there after I have a 3D shoes printed for my feet?
I think you should go get your feet printed.
Okay, let's do that. Good,
Actually,
good.
for the record, that KSCO Global, you cannot get there by just saying youtube.com/KSCO Global. It won't take you there. You have to actually go find the channel, search it in Google or in
Jason,
YouTube.
Could you tell Dr. Future again the URL that he should put on his Facebook
He
page
should
so
Google.
people can tune into the
He
Facebook
should
Live
Google
feed?
search for KSCO Global. Actually, go to the channel through Google or YouTube, and then click on the video, the live video, and then paste the link after that, because it's like a long URL.
All right, so
Yeah.
YouTube, what do I search for?
Just search for the channel called KSCO Global, and then go to the channel, and then go to the live video at the top.
KSCO Global.
And you'll have to
All right,
find the
let's
link
see it.
from there.
Meanwhile, while you guys are doing this, I will tell you some of the cool things that I'm looking forward to at the Maker Faire. So on Saturday at noon today, there is the very famous, always enjoyable, totally unforgettable Coke Zero and Mentos show. right? Should we hit the Coke Zero and Nachos show, Claire? Yes. Okay, and that's in Zone 5. That's also at 4 p.m., and that's also tomorrow at 4 p.m. There is drone racing, and I'm sure Zoe told you all what time to catch the drone races, right?
Say it again, though.
Okay, well, drone racing is in Zone 5 also. It's all day long, today and tomorrow, and it's at the D Sports World 3, okay? Zone 5. Then all day shows at 11 a.m., 12:30, 2 p.m., 3:30 p.m., and 5 p.m. The Megabots are in Zone 10. And, man, there are some amazing, huge Megabots here. Did you guys talk about the giant ant? No. Okay. There is a 7-foot-tall ant car that people can ride. I think it can take like 6 passengers, and those 6 passengers have to pedal. And when they pedal, the ant moves its legs, and you get to go all around. So it's a giant ant robot car. We like that. And then that's just one of the Megabots. You can see the Megabots in Zone 10 unless they're riding around. I mean, there's art cars riding around with the cupcakes, and there's some really gorgeous art cars. I mean, the artists have really come to town. All right, I think we're getting ready to walk here. I guess we better collect our stuff, huh? Yeah. Okay. So let's see, what other kinds of things are we going to find as we collect ourselves here? Can I get you to wear my hat so I can wear the headphones? Okay? Yeah, I'll carry stuff. All right. Let's see. We got everything?
I think so.
Michael, can I add that to your bag so I don't have to carry it right this second? Or let me see. How can I do this? Let me put that on my shoulder. Sorry. What a show, huh, folks?
It's live.
Logistics. Okay, we just packed up most of the radio station, but Michael's forgetting his bag over there.
No. Oh, yeah.
Don't forget your bag. Here, I'll walk with
radio
you.
station in the KSCO bag.
And my shoes are untied, too.
Oh, you better get some 3D printed shoes so that your shoes don't stay
KSCO
untied.
radio station, KSO shopping bag, which MZ just handed to me.
MZ is making sure he doesn't trip
Did
up.
tie his shoe. Is that a 3D printed shoelace?
Okay.
No, but I'm getting very excited about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was going to read some more of the features here. So we have Saturday and Sunday, 11:30, 1:30, and 4:30 in Zone 5. We have the Traveling Spectacular. I couldn't begin to guess what that is. So somebody got on the...
talk louder, son.
I am now. I can hear myself. I couldn't
Sound
hear
great.
myself before,
Everything's
but now I
perfect.
can.
Although somebody's thumb is covering the camera there. But there we go.
Okay, so let's see. In Zone 1, we have a life-size mouse trap. So if you want to come and watch a giant mouse get trapped in a life-size mouse trap, then that's in Zone 1, 11, 2, 12, 4. See, I'm mixing it up there for you. And, of course, people probably have remembered from other Maker Fairs the pedal-powered stage, which is all day long. All you got to do is walk over there and start pedaling, and there'll be music on the stage.
You lead, I'll follow.
All right,
Mrs. Future.
let's head. We are currently at the East Gate, and we are going from the East Gate toward the dark room. Should we start in the dark room?
Sure.
MZ,
All right.
your backpack's open.
Your backpack's open, MZ.
Okay, there's nothing in it.
Okay.
You heard him say, there's nothing in it. I know, but it looks terrible, doesn't it? So tempting.
Yeah, zip
Gotta
him up,
zip it.
son. Thank you.
Okay, I'm zipping him up. Okay, we are zipped.
At least it's not my pants that's unzipped.
Indeed.
At least it's my backpack.
That's right. You'd be on your own. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're going into the dark zone.
Oh, this is great. I love it.
Okay, in the dark room where we are heading, we're going to look for the Mystic Flyers, the 3D Zoetrope. That is one of the most famous things here, is the 3D Zoetrope.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Happening this summer. This is the mega eclipse. And this is a whole thing that's...
see, we're not even to the dark room yet. We're going to start at the Google booth where they are making science. So this is g.co making science, g.co/making science, Google, and we're looking up the Science Journal.
Tell us about the eclipse.
Give us a...
The other side.
Okay. We're going to go to the other side to talk about the eclipse.
Yeah, we're in a wrong place. So you're a Science Journal?
Yes, I'm in Science Journal display. This is for kids and for classroom use.
What grades are you looking at?
I think the best person to talk to would be him. Sorry.
So I'm the designer for Science Journal, and it's mostly for like middle school. So we're thinking like 10 to 14-year-olds.
10 to 14-year-olds?
Yeah.
And then it's an actual printed journal or an online journal?
No,
Or?
so it's actually an app that uses sensors that are in your phone. So for example, this phone is set up here, and what it does is it has accelerometers and light sensors and sound decibel sensors. And so for example, you can demonstrate how like a pendulum works. You can see the sine wave here on the graph, so you can think about like frequency and kind of teach those kind of concepts.
Cool. Hey, if you are looking at the Facebook Live, you'd be able to see just what we're talking about.
So we have the graph mode. We also have like a meter mode, and so it's more of like an icon version of the app. So here, if maybe graphing is a little too advanced of a concept, you could look at it in a meter mode, and then you can also connect things using Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And so, for example, this is a grip sensor that's hooked up to this phone, so I can squeeze, and then if I want to, I can record this information. So here I could record my right hand, and then I can record my left hand, and then when I press stop, you get a summary of all that information. So this way you can kind of make hypotheses and then write experiments and look at observations and record them and take notes, and that's kind of the journaling concept of it, is that we can take notes.
That's Science Journal. So tools that help you journal your science facts.
Right here on our website, Science Journal app, you can get activities that we've created with museums like the Exploratorium and Tech Museum and a bunch of different other educational people have made great content for us using the app and exploring science and things like that.
Have you been using it yourself?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
You like some of your own experiments?
So so these are just like $30 phones, but on like nicer phones you have like barometers and magnetometer and things like that. So sometimes like when I'm taking off, I like to record like how high I'm going and things like that. So it's just kind of fun.
You mean while you're hiking and high?
Or like on a plane, you can kind of see the elevation. So it works on an airplane too? Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like an altimeter?
It's a barometer, so it can sense the height that you're getting to. Yeah.
You try
it's like pressure, but yeah. Sorry?
When you
I'm actually taking it scuba diving as well, just for fun. It was fun. So yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Science Journal.
Appreciate that.
Okay, I think we'll go around the other side and get a little eclipse news, huh? Okay. Let's see, Claire, are you aware of the upcoming eclipse? Oh, lost her. I am tethered to the bag. We have a team broadcast going on here.
There's the giant.
Okay. Oh, okay. So here, let's find out what's happening. We have a solar projector here.
So look up there. You'll see an extremely bright spot. So we're using a telescope to look at the sun. There's going to be an eclipse coming up on August 21st, and if you want to look at the eclipse safely, you need to get solar glasses, or you could use a tool like that. So we're giving them away for free right over under the umbrella. And if you're in a location during the eclipse that's at peak totality, for 2 minutes you can take off your glasses and see the entire corona. So my project, called the Eclipse Mega Movie, is collecting images from people across totality. Everyone during those 2 minutes takes a picture with a DSLR with a zoom lens, then uploads it to our site, and then we'll stitch 1 2-hour-long video of the solar corona. And so that's a citizen science project, and we'll share all that data with scientists at Berkeley and other locations who will analyze it. And we don't get very many chances to see the solar corona from Earth. And so this is a unique opportunity. And this is just a way of demonstrating how to use a spotter scope to see the sun. So you're looking through into here. It's extremely bright in there. You don't want to look at it too long. I was working on using a rear projection screen, but if you see, I actually melted a hole in it. Because when we're doing this, we're concentrating the sunlight. And the temperature is the temperature of the surface of the sun, which is 2,000 Fahrenheit. And we're concentrating it to one little location, so it gets really, really hot. If you ever burned ants with like a lens.
Oh, with a magnifying
Yeah,
glass?
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's basically 2,000 degrees, the same as the surface of the sun. And if you concentrate it on a tiny little spot, obviously it's going to, be really,
Not going to burn that spot.
I've had it running for hours now, and it hasn't. I'm kind of surprised that the glue inside of this hasn't melted, to be perfectly honest. There really should be a solar filter. And so if you go over to the Astronomical Society of the Pacific, which is right next to the Tesla coils, they have several really nice telescopes where you can see the sun in detail and prominences and various coronal mass ejections. David Konerding, Dave K.
Okay, thanks.
So Dave, one question. So what can seeing the solar corona really tell us?
All right, so the solar corona is a big, massive structure that's formed by the electromagnetic field of the sun pushing out charged particles. And the shape of that and its dynamics tell us a lot about the chromosphere of the sun. And it can also be used, for example, to predict solar weather, whether there are storms coming that are going to hit us. But it's basically just an unbelievably fantastic experience when you go and you see an eclipse. Everybody says that experience of seeing the corona was life-changing. And the good news is, not only is there one coming up on August 21st, there's going to be another one 7 years later. And so you can kind of get the first experience this time around, know what to look for, and then the second time, it'll be an even better experience because you'll have more knowledge about it.
Yeah, our plan is to be in Oregon, right on that time, right at that time.
If you want to contribute.
You mean 7 years later?
There's a different path on the one that's 7 years later. But if you're going to be, for example, in the Oregon desert, in the area of totality, if you get some of our solar glasses, there's a website on there where you can take photos and upload them. And then we're going to stitch this 2-hour long movie of the corona. And that'll be a unique and valuable data set.
What's that website URL again? One time?
Mega.movie.
EclipseMega.movie. Okay, so that's where we upload our eclipse photos.
Yeah, so we want more volunteers. If you're going to be on the path of totality during the eclipse, please go to EclipseMega.movie and read everything there and be a volunteer. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Good job.
August 21st, 2017. All right.
Nice.
Oh, we should get our glasses.
We're going to go get ourselves some eclipse glasses. Yeah, totally. All right, I'm going to look at it right now. Oh, yeah. No, that's the best.
The ant ride over there, the ant.
Do you see it? Okay, we're going to walk. We're getting our eclipse glasses, and then we're going to walk over to the ant ride that we told you about. 93 days to the solar eclipse. We're just passing the solar eclipse countdown calendar. August 21st, 2017. If you have not already put that on your calendar, you probably want to. And again, that website is https://eclipsemega.movie. And that's where you want to upload your pictures and then look for the full-scale movie.
But you can use that.
Okay. I would like... Will you get one for me, sweetheart?
You get 3 and I'll get 3.
Okay, we're going to collect a few. Okay. May I? I would like some eclipse. Can I have 3? That would be great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Set to go.
Wow, son, you got a bunch of them.
I know. Well, I'm going to the eclipse. I know I'm going to need them.
Oh, boy, I want to go to the eclipse, too. I got a couple of them.
Yeah.
And they even gave me a protective plastic bag to protect the glasses that you could look at the sun with.
Well, I know if you are anywhere on August 21st, the totality is visible from all throughout the United States. I mean, it's going to start on the West Coast and proceed through the day to the East Coast, and I think it ends up down in Florida. I mean, it just really zigzags right over the center of the country. We're going to be in Oregon, so we're going to have to catch it in the morning. And I think I saw that it's like in South Carolina in late afternoon, and
Here's that badass ant.
That's right. If you look at the Facebook feed, you can see Dr. Future is running around. He's collecting images from the
from the back side of this badass ant. Maybe he'll
Yeah.
come around to the front. It's got a
I'd
great
like to
set
have
of
my own
manticles.
badass ant, wouldn't you?
Would you?
But where would I put it?
Yeah, your garage is a little full, I think, already, MZ.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah, should we go on a ride?
Can we go on a
Oh,
ride?
we've
You
seen
wanna go on a
people.
ride?
Yeah, we have to wait until the owner comes back.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
I said that we were gonna go to the food place. Yeah. So let's go there, and then we'll come here, and then we'll do the shoes.
How about this, Michael? This is
What?
the future of food here.
The
This
future of
zone,
food.
yeah.
Right. Hands-on, homegrown. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go in and they have
Compost.
mushroom jerky in there.
13
minutes left.
Do you want to go to a break? Did you do all the breaks we need
No,
to
there
do?
are no breaks on the Saturday special.
Oh, okay. Got it. So much better to just
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
Why have breaks if no one wants to get commercials anyhow, right? Or no one wants to sell commercials, right?
Right. Well,
anyhow,
volunteers.
So we're going into the homegrown village here at the Maker Faire, and they have all kinds of samples and stuff of kombucha. You know, do you like kombucha?
I'm a big fan of kombucha. I'm not sure if I drink something you handed me called kombucha.
Oh, maybe I just mispronounced it. It's probably what happened.
I'd be wary.
Hey, wait a minute. Mango.org?
Oh, you want to head over and see what mango.org is?
Which means...
Look, they have juicy, sweet, delicious footsteps here. The most popular fruit in the world.
Now we're live, and we're gonna have our own mango from mango.org with this hot stuff on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we have the Tommy Adkins variety of mangoes. So there's tons of different varieties, but right now we have the Tommy Adkins available. This is what this guy is. You're going to find this in your grocery store. So mangoes are great. They have 100% of your daily vitamin C that you need. A low-cal fruit, only 100 calories per cup. So it's a really great, super flavorful and energizing fruit. Just perfect for this weekend, right?
It's totally perfect. It's hot out there and it's cool in my mouth thanks to this little sample of mango.
Tahini is great. It really complements the mango. So what I love about it is it brings like the tart flavor out on the mango, and tahini's a great partner for us. Really complements the mango. We also have some free mango cookbooks here if you guys want to take some mango cookbooks home. I recommend the mango pizza recipe. It's fabulous. It's amazing. So yeah, feel free to enjoy some mango.
All right.
Listen, I am serious. That is the best mango I've ever tasted. I've ever put in my mouth. I mean, it was so good that I had another one.
You snuck another.
Oh God.
Grown all year.
Don't forget to pick up a cookbook for Greg and Marlene.
So mango.org is representing the National Mango Board. And we're going to take home some samples of this tahine. They're putting basically some hot pepper. It's red hot pepper, right?
Yeah, so this is the lime flavored one. So this will really bring out the nice sour and tartness of the mango. It really complements it. I throw this in my lunch bag. I have a mango in the morning. I throw it in my lunch bag, and it's the perfect sample size for it. It just brings out the nice little tartness of the mango.
All right, and I'm getting this really great mango eats and treats, family-friendly recipes with a tropical twist. It's not a cookbook. It's a non-cookbook for mangoes. Ways to serve mangoes and enjoy them. Boy, yum yum.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. That was fun. Are we ready? Next, they have a little magnet board here. Ripe when soft, juicy mangoes. I heart mangoes. Cook fresh fruit for dinner. That's the message from the National Mango Board.
Now, when I was here yesterday, they gave me a bag of mushroom jerky, and I want to go back and talk to that person here. Hi, okay, all right. Now, Jason, how much time do we have?
About 8.5 minutes.
How much? 8?
Yep.
Okay. So, oh, hi, how are you? Tell us about your Sweet Foods, spelled S-U-I-T-E, authentic Belgian snack waffles.
All right, so at Sweet Foods, we make a Liège waffle. It's a type of Belgian street waffle. It's made from a yeasted dough and has crunchy bits of pearl sugar mixed inside. So you get a sweet, flavorful crunch with every bite.
Oh, wow. It looks delicious.
Thank you.
So anyhow, I'm carrying too much stuff here. So, and my bag is getting heavier every time I add stuff to it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Too many options here. Too many things to take home.
well, that's okay. It's better to have too many than not enough, right? So,
Think of it as a workout.
right. Okay. Well, best of luck to you, folks. Okay. Oh, a Spice Above, all natural dips, spreads, and dressings. And they just gave me a bunch of
Pretzel sticks.
to dip in these dips. And I'm going to dip one pretzel stick in each dip. And then I'm going to stick it in
Jumpin'
my...
hot.
Jumpin' hot jalapeno.
I like the jumpin' hot jalapeno.
That's good.
But I'm going to try and beat the heat with habanero.
How about blazing buffalo? There.
Yeah, you could burn your mouth out. Now, how about blazing buffalo?
You don't like hummus?
No.
A little salt.
Rules for dips. If you can't buy Cancerettes, you're not old enough to dip. That's number one. Number two, this dip does not contain hand sanitizer. Use the friggin' pretzels. Number three, double dipping is for politicians. One dip per pretzel.
There you go. That's a novel approach.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
now I've already
politicians should
sampled-
always practice that. Only one dip per pretzel.
I've sampled 4 of them now, and I have 4 more pretzels.
I'm trying the gringo guacamole.
Oh, gringo guacamole.
Yep. That's theoretically you should like that one.
Hey, Al.
All right, these dips are from A Spice Above. Where are you guys located?
Tango Taco.
This is live radio.
I told you we would be back today. Didn't I tell you? Or was that you? Yeah. Okay.
You guys are together.
We are live.
Oh, yes. Come try our dips.
Worldwide. Okay. What is your name, please?
I'm Laura.
And Laura, are you from the A Spice Above? Are you Ms. A Spice Above?
No, she actually just left, but I am one of her workers.
I see. Okay, and where are you guys based?
Yuma, Arizona.
Wow, that's sort of far away. Here, you go to a lot of these, type of fairs.
We go to the Oregon State Fair. We go all around. Yuma, the Yuma County Fair. Everywhere.
I'll bet from now until the end of the summer, you're booked every weekend. I'll bet, huh?
We are pretty booked. We have our online is on spiceabove.com. You can go on there and order our spices, and we mix it up, and it makes this beautiful concoction of deliciousness.
I'm down to my last pretzel, and I haven't sampled all of them yet.
Did you try out our desserts?
Did you say desserts? I'll have some more pretzels if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. We will keep feeding you as long as you keep coming.
Wow. Did you hear that, KSCO audience? I just had some Dilly Delight, some oven roasted garlic.
This is Future's buying some. Look at this.
I'm about to have some kickin' tomato ass horseradish.
Did you try the gringo guacamole?
I haven't got to the desserts yet. I think that is it. Dessert dips?
Tuscan tomato basil.
Yeah.
Danish blue cheese. Yeah.
Still talking about the
Remember, we're not politicians, so we don't get to double dip. Spring garden vegetable. Now I'm about to ask for my third samples of stick pretzels, so I could, because you have so many of these things, I want to try them all. How about loaded baked potato dip? That's good. How about Western Ranch? You know what? I think I'm going to fill up with all this stuff, and I haven't even gotten to the dessert yet.
Wait till you try white raspberry. Yeah, white raspberry chocolate swirl. White raspberry chocolate swirl is out of this world.
Is it like white chocolate swirling?
Check it out.
Oh my God. So, you're hearing a lot of dead air because I'm busy stuffing my face with pretzel sticks loaded with these wonderful spices and these dips.
You often eat on the last 10 minutes of the show?
Never.
Never? Well, it is 11:57, and
it is?
we are.
Okay, we got to get to the fungus thing.
Wait, how old do you have to be to buy cigarettes?
Thank you. Bless you much. Okay, where's our
Take us to the fungus.
here? The Far West Fungi, California mushrooms from Moss Landing, California. Here we are. And you guys actually manufacture your fungi in Moss
Landing, California. Yeah, it's in your area. Monterey County side of Watsonville. We're on a bluff right above the Pajaro River, and we grow 9 different varieties of mushrooms, mostly shiitake and tree oyster, but then we also are doing about 15,000 pounds of mushrooms every single week.
I was real excited. I came here yesterday, and someone gave me a sample of shiitake mushroom jerky. And I like to say shiitake mushroom, because you're not allowed to say, but you are allowed to say shiitake. See? So I'm here having fun saying shiitake as much as I possibly can.
And let me tell you, meatless jerky. Point it at me.
We're hitting all the things, gluten-free, vegan, and then organic jerky line that we produce from our mushrooms, from our mushroom farm. I've done this actually.
We have 1 minute. Oh my gosh.
This is my 10th year doing the Maker Fair, and we do mushroom growing kits. So it's kind of like a thing that people do. We make these mushroom kits that people can grow mushrooms at their house.
It looks like it's turning into a pretty big business, huh?
What's your website at Far West Fungi? You have a website?
FarWestFungi.com, and you can check out all our different lines and then our different locations.
You're Kyle the Maker.
I'm Kyle the Maker, yes.
Cool. Okay, so and it's a family business. Far West Fungi, California mushrooms. How long? 30 seconds? 5 seconds. KSEO, Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey, San Jose. Thanks for listening.
Fair. That was really fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We'll be back on Tuesday. Dr. Future Show.
KSEO, Santa Cruz.
CBS News, I'm Bill Rakoff. To hear President Trump tell it, the first day of his overseas trip has been a pretty good one.
It was a tremendous day. I just want to thank everybody, but tremendous investments into the United States and our military.
Mr. Trump and Saudi Arabia's King Salman signed agreements today that includes a deal to sell over $100 billion of arms to the Saudis, meant to help protect its borders from aggressive neighbors. Tomorrow, the president will meet and speak to a group of Arab and Muslim leaders. CBS's Margaret Brennan is traveling with the president.
This is really his sort of coming out party to the Arab and Muslim world. He will not only meet with the Saudi king as he did today, but he'll meet with a number of leaders of Arab and Muslim majority countries, more than 30 from what we have heard. We don't have the exact list of who he's going to chat with and shake hands with, but you can expect him to speak to Egypt's President Sisi, others who he has really tried to welcome with open arms.
Meanwhile, the swirl of bad news around the administration has caught up with the president.